Welcome to Bigfoot Adventures. Have you ever had a Bigfoot sighting? If you have and you don't want to let anybody know that it was you that saw him, or you're afraid to tell your story because you're afraid of you being made fun of, I'd be glad to tell your story for you. All you have to do is email me your story at bigfootadventures411@gmail.com. Let me know what you want me to say, what you don't want me to say, and I can put your story out there so other people can hear about it without you being identified. This report to me is very amazing because it comes from a U.S. Marine who had a Bigfoot sighting while he was hunting. This happened on October 18th of 2010. He said he was in a very dense part of the woods between Jacksonville and Richlands, North Carolina. He said the woods were very secluded and it looked like no one had been out there for years. He was up in his deer stand since about 3 p.m. that day, hunting. It was getting close to dark when he saw a deer walking along the edge of a clearing. He said that the deer kept looking back into the woods like it was curious about something that was in the woods. Well, the deer got closer to him and he took a shot. The deer ran and then fell in the bushes. So about 30 minutes later, he got down out of his tree stand and he started to drag the deer toward his truck, which was about a quarter of a mile away or so. He said it was just starting to get dark and he had his backpack on and his rifle on his shoulder. He said he put his flashlight in his mouth so that he could drag the deer with both hands. He said he then stopped to resituate himself, and when he looked up with his flashlight in his mouth, he saw eyes looking at him, and they were just staring at him for a while. He said the eyes looked like they were about 5 foot 10 inches maybe off the ground, and they were really wide set compared to anything he ever saw ever in the woods before. He knew it wasn't a coyote or a bear, and he was kind of freaking out by it, knowing that he had a fresh kill with him. So he took out his 9mm Glock and shot into the ground next to himself, hoping it would move off the trail and be scared of him. He said the eyes just kept looking at him and didn't even flinch. He said then it looked to its left and then back at him. He said it stared at him for a little bit longer and then it went into the woods to the left. Well, he went to the right and started walking down the trail, and he said when he got to the trees where this animal was, he said it smelled real nasty and musty in that area, and he could look to where the animal went off into the woods, and he said about 5 or 6 feet up there was trees busted and branches busted everywhere. Well, he pretty much got out of there as fast as he could, and he decided when he got back to his truck that he was going to clean the deer right there on the spot. So he cleaned the deer and he left the spine and the ribs and the hide behind, right there. And he was really creeped out because he felt like something was watching him the entire time he was cleaning the deer. Well, when he came back to that area, the ribs had moved 300 yards away from where he had left them. Now, I know other animals can they can grab bones and drag them off, but these were very large bones and large pieces. But he said he was very, very creeped out about the area and he felt like he was being watched, especially when he was cleaning the deer. He had talked to a farmer in this area afterwards about it, and the farmer told him that they had been finding very large footprint tracks in the area, and they didn't know what they went to, and the area seemed to be very active with something that they weren't aware of what it was, but he did say that this area was very, very dense. People don't go back there often. But I think this is an unbelievable story. This is a U.S. Marine who was hunting somebody that, you wouldn't expect to make something like this up. And he saw something that night, and he was creeped out by it. I appreciate you watching and listening, and if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe.